Hey guys, so this is day one of pool opening spring 2021 and I have my little pump running in there. There's the hose for it right there. This is like one of those electric pumps that you can put in a fish tank and drain the water off of there. You can see where the water line was in the pool cover because it's kind of green. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but definitely a lot of the water has come off. So it's just gonna be a waiting game with this because there was a lot of water in this pool cover, and my pool pillow went all the way over there across the pool because I think what happened is my bungee cords that was holding it came untied. I don't know that for sure, but I think that's what happened. That's the only thing that makes any sense. So here's update number 2 on the pool cover draining. I left it drain overnight and quite a bit of the water has come off. It still has, as you can see, quite a ways to go. Well, this is day 3 of the pool cover draining. As you can see, quite a bit of progress has been made. Yeah, just a waiting game. This is the boring part because you have to keep coming out here and checking on it. You gotta move the pump around. I had to move it from that side of the pool to right there. So it's coming along, and as you can see, the weight of the water has come off of that side quite a bit. That was pushing the pool pillow over off to one side, and I originally thought it was too tight, or not too tight. I originally thought that the strings that were holding the pool pillow in place came untied, but now I see what happened is we had it tied too loose because it shouldn't be hanging down. But anyway, it is what it is. Just gotta wait. Hopefully I'll have all this drained off before it rains. I think we're supposed to get rain like Tuesday, and it's Sunday now, so hopefully I can get the rest of this drained off tomorrow. I sure hope so, because if it rains again, it's gonna just fill it back up. Lord help me. And additionally, I noticed that as I'm draining the water from off the top of the pool cover, that I'm also losing water level. My water level was like up to the windows, but now the water level is about here, and I'm out here pretty much 95% of the time and several times a day because my dogs are out here, and if they are not supervised, they leave the yard. I think they left the yard on me while I was trying to film this, so I think I'm gonna have to go hunt some dogs down. But anyway, I had a suspicion during the winter when we got all that snow that there might have been a hole in my pool cover, and I'm starting to think more so that that is actually the case, because not only am I draining the water from off the pool cover, but my water level has gone down. And this really isn't that good a quality of pool cover anyway. I found it off of Amazon for like $30. So water has just got like mixed in. That like if you come over here though, what's weird is that if you look up underneath here, there's the water in our pool up under the pool cover, and it's clear. There's no green. Just as an FYI, all last winter, I had this pool up and didn't take it down. There were never any problems with the windows. There were never any problems at all with it. Nothing cracked. There were no leaks. And I'm pretty sure there's no leaks this time either. Because like I said, I would know it. There, you know, the water was up like by the windows. And some of them were still about like that full with water. So if it was leaking from one of the windows or something, I'd have seen it. For sure. So I don't think it's a leaking issue. I think there's a hole in the pool cover or a lost water level because of evaporation or whatnot. So yeah, we will just wait and see. And I gotta go find my dogs. Okay, you guys, so this is another update to this pool opening. And so we're at right now is we got the pool cover off about 3 days ago, actually. And no, it was more than 3 days ago because we got it off Sunday. And then my husband started helping me put the new pool ladder and step system that we got together. But there's a factory flaw with that. The pieces that are supposed to snap together are not snapping together properly. So it's becoming more of a thing than what we thought it was going to be. And the pieces that weren't snapping together was like the railing with the steps. And so we're having to modify that and bolt it together with stainless steel bolts. So I currently still don't have a ladder. And then I have the water hose running inside the pool right there. Because I can't wait around until the ladder gets put together. I was originally thinking that since some of the water got drained off while I was draining the pool cover because there was apparently a hole in it somewhere, I was like, well, it'd be easier to get the steps inside the pool and anchor those down with the sand while there's not as much water in there. But it's gonna be maybe a couple of more weeks before we get that situation taken care of as far as the pool ladder goes. I'll be doing a review on it. It's the main access ladder and the step system, the easy, what's it called? Smart, yeah, main access, smart steps and ladder system. And so that's what we got going on in the pool. You can see there's some junk that I need to get out of the pool, but with the pump not running, there's nothing I can do with the water level this low. We've got like cherry blossoms coming off. Huh?
You seen that rubber mallet?
Yeah, it's on the kitchen table.
Kitchen table?
Yeah. Sorry. And so it's like some cherry blossoms and all coming off of the trees and getting into the pool. So I need my skimmer to run now in order to get that off. If I don't do something with this, the water's gonna go green on me. And it's about April and it's not green because I used an in the swim winterization kit there. But this is what we have going on. And I know you're like, oh my gosh, all your sand is gone from out of your sand filter. Well, I came out here this morning to do the usual deep clean the sand thing that I do every season before getting the pool up and running. A little bit late doing it last year because I wanted to clean up all the algae that was in the pool from not properly winterizing it before. Okay, so what we have going on here is basically this here is the tank, obviously, that your sand would go in. And as you can see, it's empty. So basically this morning when I opened up the sand filter, and I took this off and took off the sides, and then I have the screws underneath of there. this part right here that connects to the bottom part that spins, this part right here spins. And all these little white pieces go onto those little holes. Okay, so basically what happened is when I took off the top of the sand filter right there, this part was sitting in there loose. It had come undone from inside of there. And I had no idea, and I didn't make any videos through the summer last year, but what I was dealing with in the pool was that I was getting, let me see if I can show you. I was getting around the edges, the crease that connects the bottom to the side of the pool are like sewn together. So what's this happening is algae was growing up underneath of there. And for the life of me, all of a sudden, I was like, why? I've never had that problem before, and I don't know what's going on. And I deep cleaned the sand after I got rid of all the algae. And apparently what had been going on is that this came apart. This is supposed to sit in that part right there. And it came completely undone. So what I had to do was take all the sand, which is still fine, but I had to take all the sand from out of there, out of the tank, in order to get all that out. And then with all the little white pieces on here, the sand filter, or this piece, this lateral, won't come out of the tank. See, all the little white pieces go in there like that. They screw on. And luckily I could get them to come off, because then I was like, okay, now how am I going to get that out in order to put it back together, so that I can fix this. So that may have been why through the summer last year I was having that issue with the green growing on like my walls and my crack, the pool, like I just showed you, because it might have been because this came apart last summer, somewhere in the middle of the summer, and I didn't know it. So I would think that without this working right, it probably would make the sand filter not work right. And my circulation was always really good. For the life of me, I couldn't figure out what was going on. So now I know. I'm glad I opened this up, as I do every season, to deep clean the sand. And I found it like that. It fell apart. So yeah, that is what I have been doing today. And I'll come back with another update as soon as I get all this back together, and hopefully get all of the sand back in the tank without losing too much sand. I think I have one bag of pool sand that hasn't been used, so that if I do have to add sand to it, I can add a little bit. So yeah, how's your day been? Okay, so I have all of those pieces back together. You have to put the black thing in the tank first before you can start screwing those white things on, because once the white things are on, it's not going to come out of the tank. Now I got to put this on, this little tube here. It gives you the minimum and maximum line, and I think I actually have plenty of sand. I remember back in 2017 when I filled this, I think I had just a little bit too much sand in it. So, I'm sure it's not going to come out. It came out on me. Well, let me go, because I can't apparently do this with one hand. Okay, I got everything back together, all the sand back in there. I did lose a little bit of sand, but like I said before, I think before I had a little bit too much in there. You want to get it in between the minimum line and the maximum line. And I came with what sand I had left. I came right above the minimum line, so I think we're good to go. I'm gonna run it like this, and if I have problems with it, well, I guess I'll just take it apart again and maybe get a new sand filter or a tank. I actually kind of had plans that this summer what I was gonna do is put this sand filter over there to run that intake and run another return, or use this as a way to run another water fountain. And I found a replacement water fountain, so it would essentially go kind of backward. So normally your return is there, and then there's an intake, or in our case a skimmer, which is also your intake, and up underneath of the original intake is the original connection for that intake, and we just capped it off since it's not being used, and it stays that way. So this is your return, that's your intake. So this here is a valve that I put on, so I would have a way to close the valves to the water fountain. And so basically the return, or the new water fountain that actually sits inside of the pool, would go here, and then the intake would go here. So I basically would be turning the pump around backward. But yeah, that's what I thought about doing, because I really want to get one of the new Intex 16-inch sand filters, or I found another one from off of eBay that's a little bit cheaper. That's a 27-inch sand filter that I might run on here. So in any case, you know, it is what it is. I can always take this apart and empty it out and move it, or move it with all the sand in it, which is actually heavy to tell you the truth. So I probably would just empty it and then move it over and then put the sand back. Put a new pump over here. And this year I'm going to get one of those 360 rotator return jets to help improve circulation in here. So I think that would be a neat idea. Right now I'm running a Hayward return eyeball, because last summer my Intex eyeball cracked, and it was like 3 or 4 years old, and it finally cracked on me. So I just put this Hayward one on there that came with the skimmer. That's what I'm using on there right now, but it's okay for now. But personally, I don't really like it. I don't think it gets that good of circulation. The other way that centerpiece may have come out of my sand filter was whenever I went to pull the top off. It might have just popped out there, but sand was all in it though, so there was no way that I could put it back down in there. So I kind of had to do what I did regardless. But I think, considering the fact that I had the whole problem where all last summer algae was growing in the seam around the edges and up my walls, I somehow think that it came off, or it popped loose whenever I put the sand filter back together after deep cleaning, and didn't realize it. Because this pool really gave me a run for my money last year. You just tell you. And so that's what's going on for now. And we got quite a bit of water already added to this. It's filling up pretty quickly, actually. So I'm going to take a break. My dogs desperately need to come outside, but I didn't want to bring them out here when I was working on the sand filter and pieces were everywhere. Because I have a 9-month-old puppy. She would have been all in that stuff. So yeah, well, I'm gonna go inside and get them, and then after they get a chance to go outside, I'm gonna come back and hook up the pumps. And well, my other pump that runs the water fountain, or my second return, has a crack in it, so I'm not gonna hook that up right away. It's just gonna be the main sand filter that I'm gonna hook up today. And then also, because I have nowhere to put the other pump. This is broken, so I have to get a new thing to put the pump on. And then if I put a sand filter on there, I'm gonna have to get some pavers. And then my dog dug a really nice hole here for me, so I have got to, while that is still wet, turn the soil and close that, because the hole is right in front of where my return for the water fountain is. All right, later. So another quick update on the pool. It's pretty much full, but I want it to get a little bit fuller. So I'm gonna let the water hose run until it reaches somewhere around the top of the skimmer. Because since I deep cleaned the sand and did all that whole cleaning out the sand thing yesterday, I need to backwash the filter and rinse first before I run the pump. And then I'm just gonna run the pump for a while to have the skimmer help me clean all the stuff off of the top of the water. And then once I do that, I'll come out here and set up my automatic vacuum to try to vacuum inside the pool. Oh crap, I forgot to close my storage thing. So rainwater got inside of there probably. I currently don't have a working telescoping pole because I noticed when I got it out of the storage that it was broken in several pieces, and I must have just threw it in there at the beginning of the season and didn't realize it. Beginning of the fall and winter season, I'm meaning. And didn't realize it was broken. And just threw it in there. But yeah, it's broken. So the only option that I have is the automatic vacuum with my little shark. And it never has run very well in this pool. So I don't even know if I can get it to run. Like, it runs, but it moves real slow. And now I said before that you don't really want it moving real fast, because if it moves real fast, it might not clean the bottom of the pool very well. But I'm thinking about revisiting the Intex automatic pool cleaner for an automatic pool cleaner. Getting another one, because I was looking around and I was reading reviews off of Amazon that said basically there was a piece of the housing of the actual machine where somebody had one that did the same thing, like it worked fine for a while and then it stopped. And he said there was something out of alignment on the inside of his machine, so I wonder if that's what happened to mine. And it might not have been my pump, because I upgraded the pump, but then I realized maybe a month or so after I upgraded the pump, hey, wait a minute, this thing ain't moving. It's not like working like it used to. And sometimes it would lift off the floor of the pool. But now that I'm only using one intake, now that I have a skimmer and whatnot, I think I might revisit the Intex pool cleaner and see if it makes it work a little bit better. Because I'm thinking now that my machine, based on that review that I read, that there was something wrong with the machine on the inside, and maybe it didn't have anything to do with my pump. So I'm gonna check that again this year too, because that little shark runs so slow that in order for it to clean the whole bottom of my pool, I literally have to let it run all day. So and it's a suction pool cleaner, and I'm beginning to think that for my pump, since I'm only using one intake because I have the skimmer, that it's actually sucking itself to the floor of the pool. And if that happens, then I can see how it maybe wouldn't run the way that it should. So anyway, that's my update for now, and I'm sorry about the dogs barking. The neighbors are away for the weekend. They have a dog sitter here, and she's basically left the dogs outside, and every time I bring my dogs out, they run up and down the fence barking at the other dogs. And then the dog sitter brought their dog over, so it's even more of a loud, obnoxious thing than what it normally would be. So anyway, that's what's going on here. This is how it's been for the last couple of days. So here's what I got going on here. I have the pool pump running on recirculate because I came out here this morning to add these in the swim pool opening chemicals, and I already added the 3 bottles, which are clarifier, spring stain away, and algicide. So I added all 3 of those. I let the pool pump recirculate for an hour. Then I'm gonna add both of these bags of shock. They give you 2 bags of shock. And they give you a pool sorb, which is one of those little sponges like what I have in there. So before I added those, I came out and backwashed the pool because the pool water, like the pool is filled all the way to the top at this point. But it went cloudy on me. You can still see to the bottom, like some of the junk that's on the bottom. We have had rain overnight. So the weather conditions are not very favorable for trying to open a pool. As you know here, I've said it before, we get rain. Rain, and more rain. This is what the absorb looks like. You just throw it in there, and it helps attract all the like extra oils and whatnot that's in there. They're not really necessary, but you know, I think they're kind of cute floating around in the water. So I'm gonna go add the shock, and then I'm gonna let that recirculate for an hour. Then I'm gonna come back and put the pump on filter. And then since the water is kind of cloudy right now, I'm gonna wait until tomorrow to run my vacuum cleaner in here. Because I'm afraid that if I don't get into adding chemicals, like right now, the water may go green on me since it's kind of cloudy. Okay, so today, after letting the shock and pool chemicals work inside the water overnight, I came out here this morning to backwash because the water was really cloudy. Just over the last few days of having the pool cover off, leaves and whatnot from the tree have collected down at the bottom of the pool. So this time of year is always just really bad as far as that is concerned, with leaves and whatnot collecting. But as you can see, like right here where the return is, and kind of all the way over from like here all the way in this direction, the circulation is really good as far as the return circulating the water. But over there on that side where the other valve is I have, seems to be a dead spot. And I am going to get a replacement water fountain. I found one that hooks to your return from the inside of the pool, which will make it easier for me to just take the eyeball off and then put that one on. But seeing how we don't really use the water fountain that much, what I'm gonna do in order to try to help take care of that dead spot over there on that side of the pool is add another return whenever I get the other pump. Because like some circulation over here on this side of the pool would really help. Because you can see since I've come over here, all the dirt has collected over on this side of the pool. So having another return be right here, where this valve is over here, I think would really help circulate the water. And I think it'd be a neat idea to get those 360 return circulators. So what I'm gonna do today real quick is I'm gonna try to figure out how to get my telescoping pole to work. I got a piece of it put together like right there. I'm gonna try to see how I can get this together enough to where I can use it in order to try and scoop out some of those leaves, because those leaves are really big in there. You can't really vacuum out leaves. So I'm gonna go do that. I probably can't get it all today. It's a lot. Hey guys, so this is gonna be one last update on this pool opening part. I'm gonna come back for a part 2 and probably a part 3 as I work on upgrades and stuff. So this is what we have going on. The water is still really clear, and there's still a whole bunch of debris down in the bottom of the pool. I did have my little shark in there, and it got most of the stuff from like all the way on the other side. And then what I'm dealing with here is that this hose here, like right there, has a small crack in it, which I noticed before the temperature dropped. Like last night and the night before, it dropped down to like 30s. Last night it got down to 25, which is crazy, because just last week it was like 60s and 70s. So nothing froze, but you know, I have not really been able to do anything with this pool for the past couple of days because it's just been too cold. So that's what we're working with. I'm gonna come back for a second part to the series, because as I do upgrades, which is obviously gonna be part of the pool opening this year, I'm gonna film that. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any other videos.